My name is Joseph Blondeau, and I will be your host today. And next to that, I'm the head of the ARIS product marketing. I'm really thrilled to have today two dinosaurs of the ARIS story with me. So it's Karl Wagner and Marc Vietor. And before we start to discuss me asking questions to these two guys, I'd like to give you a short head up on why this Passion for Processes series and what you can expect from that. So we have year 2022, and this is the year of the 30th ARIS birthday. So our process management and process mining suite. So that's why we decided from the marketing perspective to get in touch with ARIS experts from all over the world, partners, customers from different industries, and basically let them tell you their stories. So why are they passionate for processes? How did they start with processes? And maybe to get to know them a little personally. So that's how it is about. And I would like to start today to welcome Karl and Marc again. And I would like to start with the first easy question, asking you both for your background and how and why you came to processes and to ARIS. So who wants to start?
Karl is the older one. Karl has to start.
Yeah, exactly.
First, I have to listen. I'm the dinosaur. Thank you, Joseph.
Oh, that's a compliment.
Yeah, so self-introduction. Yeah, ARIS was invented here in Saarbrücken, which is in Saarland, Germany, close to the French border. And I come from the region. And I studied computer science with business economics and heard lectures by Professor Schier, who is the founder of ID Schier, and got hired there. And I was the first software engineer of a team of 3 people, I guess, to start the development of ARIS 1.0. And this was an amazing time. So we felt like, let's say, pioneers of business process management at that time. And when I joined the first ARIS user conference, I totally got inspired by our customers. Yeah. So when you are a software engineer, you just develop your software and you never are in touch with your customers so directly. But then I saw their presentations and I saw what they do with our tool and I was blown away. Both. That made me absolutely proud. And it continued years after. So that's why I love what I do. Yeah, work together with great R&D teams, but really for the success of our great customers.
May I ask you an additional question?
Any question?
Where did you start? How was the building or how was the room? If it was like a kind of a pioneer.
They had been, it was not a garage, but kind of, yeah. One of the buildings we had been in was a Fiat, which is an Italian, was a former garage of Fiat, yeah. So, it was a very uncomfortable building with huge walls of glass, because was the exhibition area of Fiat, yeah. And from time to time, someone came along and asked if he could repair their cars. So this is what I experienced as at the very beginning, as we had been maybe 10 R&D people, something like that.
Oh, and now thousands, hundreds, sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karl. I love this Fiat garage story. What about you, Marc? Background, why you love processes, how you came to processes?
Yeah, how I came to processes. I studied also in the region where ARIS was founded, and then I applied for a job as a consultant. And to prepare that, I read the first book of Professor Schier about the ARIS house. And then I was lucky to get hired. And I said, there's a well done, let's say, introduction and onboarding process. But that was not the case. I think I got a call, say, hey, your first day, go to the customer and implement ARIS in the context of SAP. And that's what I got and fell in love with business processes. I did a lot of consulting there. I did process-driven ISO 9000 certification for them in Switzerland. And this is still a great use case for ARIS, really a quality management system, what we now extended to an enterprise-wide management system solution. So I think that is where my passion started. And then I think over many decades and losing a lot of my hair, I am now the general manager for the entire ARIS business.
Regarding your hair, I mean, I started very early also in this area with you. You didn't have that many hairs at the time?
I had some when I was a little bit younger, let's say 16, 18. So I get used to it, that's right.
Okay, thanks both. Let's go to a more specific and a business question is, why do you think that process management and or process mining are important to companies, especially today? Marc, do you want to start this time?
Yeah, I think the big trend that we see in the market at our customers is really the need for transformation to adapt to all the new requirements. Might it be resilience, what we have seen in COVID, the new way of working, everybody working from home, the big technology trends, cloud migrations, and then all the business drivers in more demanding customers, all the B2C trends now being applied for B2B. I think that all needs that you have to understand your business processes, so the way you work. Without that, you can't change and optimize and transform your, let's say, business model. And you need to know them and make them available to everyone in your organization, that they can really adhere to the way they should work. And then I think the cycle is closed. You can measure again if they are according to what they should work, do really their job. And the other main driver is all the regulations that we see in the market. I think the old ISO 9000, I think, was the first regulation I was confronted with. But now we have in many industries dozens, hundreds of regulations that they have to apply to. And also the new one, like environment, social and governance, all the sustainability demands that are coming on top of it. So there is no, let's say, time in the last decades and also in the future 100 years where processes are getting irrelevant. So you need to get to really understand, optimize, control, and optimize the way you work.
Perfect. I think that was the perfect pitch for ARIS, but I'm sure Karl has something to add on that, on process management, process mining, importance, and maybe also challenges.
I think Marc already covered a lot. Depending, if I compare with the 90s, so the cycle times that you today have for adapt processes is reduced dramatically. So you see new competitors, you see new technologies, and Marc mentioned compliance, security, resilience. All of these are drivers to adapt the organization, and it's also people business. So you have, let's say, to change the thinking of the people and have a real flexible organization in place. And this is the tool, ARIS is the tool to drive this type of change. And mining, so that's an analytic discipline, which is for us not new. So we were inventing it a couple of years ago. And this gives, with the means of analyzing log files, analyzing via API get access to ERP system, legacy system, provide you a picture of how the process really work and gives you the necessary insight of problems that you see there. That will be therefore the trigger of short-term improvements, by changing a process instance, but also triggers for example, structural changes that you do with the BPA tooling that we have in place there. So the wheel is turning faster, and ARIS is the right platform to support our customers in that.
Yeah, I think it summarized it very well. And looking at my story, I would say we've seen a lot of trends coming up and down, and in the end, it always relates to processes. So whether we talk about RPA, customer experience management, in the end, it's all about processes. So about ARIS. Do you see any next big trends that you would like to mention today? So in the area of process management, process mining, is there something coming to your mind?
I think for me, what we see clearly is that the different pieces are not enough. So the customers are really looking for an integrated, holistic solution that really can cover all different aspects in one shot. So that they really can, from their strategy, their customer journeys, their, let's say, definition of their business models, down to the lowest granularity of a process, to, let's say, all the risk and compliance, what we mentioned, but also the automation part of it, so that you can really automate that with bots, with low-code, no-code application generation, what we offer in ARIS, the triggering of actions out of the process mining insights, and also, yeah, as we often say, process mining alone is not enough. So really you need the combination of all the different capabilities in one integrated suite. So it's getting bigger and bigger because the use cases and the complexity at customers are growing, and they really understand that a single piece to solve one individual problem is not enough. Because coming back to when I started the ARIS House, the process in the middle combines all the different aspects, your organization, your IT, your strategy, all that is coming together in the passion for process in the middle.
So it's all about integrating it all in a story, basically. All right, Karl, I'm sure you have anything to add. And talking about trends, I'm sure, especially on the technical side, we may have a lot you could mention.
Yeah, but I believe the technology is serving the needs of our customers. So, of course, I could now talk about hyperscalers, about scalability architecture. We always just use these great new technologies to serve, to provide a better service to our customers. And if you're asking the trends that I see, so AI, machine learning, I think what those things can do for the organization is still not understood. Yeah. So the sensors, the truly connected world, all of those things are going to change. The business models are offering new services. Customers will offer new services. So the trigger for changes there is that's enormous. But also those changes like AI, machine learning, and natural language processing will make their way into our technology and to provide a better service to our customers. So we have the first prototypes there, first results, and AI is already used in our process mining. So more and more of those things will make life easier in transformation projects. That's what I believe. Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting topic, because AI and all these technology trends make some people, a little bit nervous. So do you think people will still play a role in these activities?
If you ask me, I'm totally convinced it remains people business. Yeah, of course, we see here currently we are discussing the war for talents. Yeah, so especially in Europe or in US, yeah, it's so difficult to fill positions with skilled people. And I believe we have to live with the people that we have, so that we have to get rid of jobs and tasks that can be done automatically with AI technology, that we really as human beings can concentrate on the decision making, on things like that. So higher quality, higher level jobs. And that's what I would assume for the future. So, but we will not leave it to the machines. So at least not in the
that's
coming
good to
years.
hear. I'm relieved. Marc, anything to add on that? It's people business processes.
Yeah, I think that is also my belief, that we will have more high quality and decision-making processes towards the individuals in an organization, but that drives for me much more the need for the best process possible, because you need to understand, where can I automate, where does a bot or an AI or other fancy technology make sense, what are the steps where I need the input from a creative individual that really understands the big picture of what software cannot do today. And I think that needs to be described, optimized, measured, so that you can really drive this concentration of the best parts to the best people, and really simulate that. I think that is what we are seeing at our customers as well, that they measure with process mining, that they then go into a simulation to really see, where can I put my highly skilled resources, my individual contributors, into the right place in the process. And that is an ongoing battle. And that is where we are investing also a lot, how we can really bring these two worlds much closer together.
Right. Thank you very much. So that you have a short thinking break, I have a little game for you both. I have a this or that question game. So I would ask the same question to you both, and I would just like to have a short answer and explanation why. So we are in the morning, and I would like to start with a question: wine or beer? Karl.
Wine for sure.
I like it. That's very good. Red or white?
I prefer white wine, to be honest. Sorry, I should not say that to someone from France. Because you have great red wines, I know, but white wines too.
But you know what?
Marc.
I love both. Marc.
Well, I go for the red wine, and probably more the Spanish one and not the French one.
Okay, that's fine.
That
But
really
I'm surprised
hurts.
none of you have beer. Not beer. You're both German. So now a more business-like one: EPC or BPMN?
I would go for the BPMN, as it's the trend, or let's say the de facto standard. I know that we can do much more and sometimes better with an EPC, but at the end, it's the choice of the customer. I think what he believes is the most easy to consume way of designing the content.
Yeah, nothing to add. To work with the standard always has advantages and disadvantages. BPMN is the standard. It's not as flexible as EPC. It makes things more complex in designing processes, but it's a standard. If you want to exchange it with someone else, then it's easier to use. Yeah.
All right. Another one: strategy or implementation? Marc. You're laughing.
Well, as a general manager, I should say strategy first, but at the end, it's all about execution. I think you can have the nicest and best strategy if you don't be strong in executing it, on really following up. I think that's the problem. And I think that is what is my, let's say, passion, and in that context, really bringing these two together. One or the other is probably the wrong question.
And you know what? I'm working with this guy. It's true what he says. Karl.
You have to have a strategy, but I would say 10% strategy, 90% strong, powerful execution, implementation. Yeah.
Okay, so you're both
Very
on the
simple.
same side.
Yeah.
So now let's start with you, Karl. Risk or compliance?
I should not say that. Risk. I really love to take sometimes a risk rather than to be 150% compliant with each and everything. It's a management style, maybe. Do not know.
That's good to know. Marc?
I think, as you said, you're working with me for some time already. I think I'm more the risky guy and sometimes not always compliant. But I think that is how you can drive business much faster. But in some areas, compliance is an important stuff, especially when it comes to legal regulations. But sometimes you might have internal compliance rules that are sometimes good, sometimes can be optimized. So yeah, that's how I would say.
So I can feel where the passion for processes come here. And the last one, a more private one, mountain or sea? Karl?
Can you repeat it? I didn't get the point.
So
What?
if you go to vacation, you would like to go to the mountains or to the sea?
I don't like the mountains.
But you like the sea?
I love the sea, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I also prefer the sun and the beach. Sometimes to do nothing is also very, let's say, nice to really think about something else.
All right. Thanks, guys. So I have some more business questions for you, 2 or 3. How would you sell process management to your management? So I know, Marc, you're talking to a lot of customers, so you probably have some insights, but also Karl, I mean, R&D, it's all about processes. So how would you sell process management to your management? How important and how you do that?
Yes, I would for sure not go into each and every detail that comes along with process management. In the past, I remember we had examples where customers were painting huge process landscapes and showed it with proud to the management and how complex we are. Yeah, I would not do that. I would position it with the quick wins. I would position it as an enabler of business strategies. Yeah, if you want to want to execute a strategy, as I already said, it's people business. You have to involve those people, convince them, take them with you on your endeavor. And this how I would show it to them with the dashboards that we have, with all the cool stuff on a management level. That's the way how I would sell it.
So less is more, right?
Yeah. So the business value should be in the focus, not all the complex things maybe behind it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Marc.
Yeah, normally it's two ways of positioning it. It is outcome or risk. I think let's start with the outcome. I think we have really seen a lot of customers getting reduced cycle times, really saving millions of dollars in optimizing their processes and getting them under control. And this outcome-based argumentation, I think that is really what it's all about, because designing, optimizing processes is just the mean to really come to the outcome that is behind achieving a new strategy, implementing a new business model, optimizing a certain, let's say, sales channel, reducing the cost in procurement or whatever. So I think that would be the return on investment argumentation. The other way is, depending on whom you talk to, it's about the risk. I think I just talked to our CFO and he says, hey, I've got new regulations that I have to apply to. in the German governance of a company. And he said, I have to show and I have to manage the process in a certain way to really comply to that. So that is dealing with the fear and risk of, let's say, the one that you are talking to. And here the processes can really help to reduce and manage the risk and secure compliance. Like big customers in the healthcare or pharmaceutical business, I think their compliance is key, because if you deliver the wrong pills, then you are in big trouble. So from that perspective, I think it's both, it's outcome and risk.
Maybe I can mention also that this Forrester study for the total economic impact that ARIS has with a return on invest of 300%. If you look into the study which I did, it's a great study. And you see they calculate this return on invest with this, let's say, quantifiable benefits, this short implementation cycles and cost savings here and there. But I believe also those things that are not really measurable directly, like here the compliance, what happens if the compliance issue then occurs? Then you have a penalty of millions of dollars sometimes. GDPR things, you know what can happen there. But also to make the employees fit for the future, to have a more flexible organization with a forward-thinking attitude. I think those you can't really measure, but I think they are even more important than the 300% of return of invest. Yeah.
Great. Thank you both. Two last questions. Do you think processes can save the world? Who wants to start?
I think I started already in the intro with the sustainability topic. And I think the shift that we see right now is that in the past, we focused on, let's say, optimizing the way of working towards cost and cycle times and quality. So that were the obvious KPIs that we were targeting. The additional and new thinking is that we optimize the processes for, let's say, this sustainability impact, the carbon footprint, or your compliance or your social responsibility. So there are more criteria now than just the, let's say, financial ones that you have to apply for. And we clearly see that in the demand of our customers from the retail industry that see that as a big differentiator. We're talking to big logistics companies that really see that as the main driver if they can reduce the carbon footprint in their business processes, or in, let's say, production shop floor processes. If you do it in a different way, if you reorganize, reshuffle your process, it will, let's say, really have a impact on the world, and really can save our future, which is a big word. But I think it is small steps to really a sustainable future.
Thanks. Anything to add, Karl?
As always, Marc covers a lot of aspects. But I also would not underestimate what BPN and ARIS can contribute. I already said that we are in the center of transformation initiatives in organizations. And if you look at the value chain or process chain, you optimize it towards a KPI, quality, time, customer satisfaction, whatever. At the same time, you can look at it from a carbon, from a pollution, from an environmental impact side. And this will help you in the future maybe to balance both all of those aspects. And for sure, this can be a tool also to help companies to evolve towards a more sustainable business in the future. So yes, we can, but will we save the world? It's really a big claim.
We will see in the next time then. Thank you very much, guys. It was not easy to find a slot with these both persons in their calendars, but it works. I'm very, very happy that you took the time to discuss with me. And for everyone listening, please really stay tuned because I have a lot of others, interviewees and persons, experts from all over the world coming up next. And also this will be exciting episodes of this Passion for Processes series. Thank you. Bye, Karl. Bye, Marc.
Thank you, Joseph. It was a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Thanks.
It was a pleasure and honor. Bye.
Bye-bye.